Hey guys, it is time to reveal my missing puzzle. Last racket to enter the tournament, a battle between Prestige MP, Prestige Tour, Whiteout 18x20 and Percept 100D. That's quite a lineup. Many players would pick some of those as their main racket of choice. It's a bit painful that I have to eliminate 3 great rackets, but sometimes that's the reality. Tough throwing and you're out of the tournament really quick. So I figured I would start with every racket with the high note. What was the best trait of the racket? What was the main thing that created the racket as a great racket? So let's start with the Whiteout 18x20. For me, it is the focused feel. It's like taking Speed Pro, squeeze it a bit down to make it more solid and more focused, defined in feel. Of course, it is still stiff in feel. We have to separate things like what information is going to your hand and what you actually feel on the string bed while hitting the ball. So Whiteout has this very unique feel of cupping effect, the dwell time and shooting off. It's like mixing bubble frame with a head Prestige racket. So you have this response, hotter response, but with a bit more pocketing sensation. I believe that is maybe associated with the foam inside the Whiteout, and this is the only foam filled racket in this lineup. That being said, it is not the most comfortable. Let's move on now to the Percept 100D. It is a storyline. Percept 100D with carousel breaking into like top 300 now ATP. It's quite a thing. One of us, YouTubers or coaches, whatever, right? So he wrote an amazing story, and he's the main driver of the Percept 100D success. It suits flat hitters really well. Next we have Prestige Tour. To me it was backhands. Backhands absolutely amazing, laser-like. I was even going for a bit more than I should with such feel and response. It suits my backhand swings perfectly. My backhand is usually my better shot, and with Prestige Tour I was like, it was like 10 out of 10 on backhands. That's how much I like Prestige Tour when it comes to backhands. Next we have Prestige MP, and to me it would be overall user friendliness. The power spin control ratio is balanced really well, a bit towards control, but enough power and forgiveness to make it a very good option for many players, from amateurs to professional. So as I said now, the key highlights of every racket. Now let's go to maybe the most negative things I experienced with each racket. Starting with a Whiteout 18x20, to me it was obviously stiffness. Maybe wave distribution is not my cup of tea, but it's not really a negative thing, it's a personal thing. I usually prefer heavier, more headlight setups, so actually with wave modules from Solinco it is really easy to customize the frame to your preference, so maybe it's not a negative thing. You can cover a lot of players with such specs. Some will play stock, some will add to the head, some will add to the handle. Great starting point maybe. Most players, most advanced players, because Whiteout 18x20 I would say overall is towards more advanced players. Maybe those players will have to move the specs a bit towards some ends, more headlight, maybe more head heavy, but yeah, the options are there, so it's a good thing. The stiffness is a bit on a higher end. I mentioned the pocketing and the feel of the ball on the string bed is actually great, and it's a highlight of the Whiteout 18x20. That being said, the comfort and this raw feeling is a bit too extreme. I'll calm down a racket a bit just to make it a bit more comfortable. Maybe the benefit and the highlight would be even better with softer layup, maybe the maybe the Whiteout 1820 would be even better, so that's a question mark. Maybe with 18-19 string pattern, Solinco wouldn't have to change so much the layup. Maybe just the string pattern would make the frame more comfortable with more spin and forgiveness. Sometimes those easy fixes are the best ones you can do. So Solinco, consider making 18-19 whiteout, please. I think people are waiting. Going now to the Percept 100D, at least from my experience, the power spin ratio was a bit off from my preference. Similarly to what I experienced with Speed Pro, Percept 100D is a great frame for attackers and flat hitters, but whenever I was trying to put up the ball, hit the ball with a bit more spin and a bit higher launch, I was losing the ball. Often shooting too long out, and this was taking away some of the confidence. It was quite great to play with the Percept 100D on hard court, but on clay not so much, because I think overall I often try to hit a loopy shot. It's just now inside my playstyle, I think, and whenever I was trying to do it, I was losing the ball, hitting too long, and yeah, that's a problem. I think K-pop string could be a solution, but I tried several strings, Razor Code, Polytool Pro, and the hybrid of Polytool Ref with Polytool Pro. Even with a Solinco Turbite 130, so with less power, I could hit a bit more up without shooting too long. Sometimes it's a solution, but not in this case. With thicker strings, the comfort was going down to the point where it was a problem, so I was stuck with those 125 strings, and yeah, I just couldn't find the ratio. But maybe follow the big guy here, Carousel, with K-pop Tour line. That could be it. Going to the Prestige Tour, I think it was the overall lack of forgiveness, especially on volleys. I thought I was having the ball clean, and then something was going on with the racket, with the ball. I was losing stability, but overall the stability is good with the Prestige Tour, so I think it was just the forgiveness of the racket. So that is a problem, big problem actually. Now going to the Prestige MP, it was a bit hard to find a negative thing about this racket, because I would say the overall user friendliness is amazing. So it means that it doesn't have big enough negative thing to make an impact. However, maybe I would say the lack of weapons was a bit there with the Prestige MP, because the plow-through is not really that high. The power level is also a bit in a Prestige territory. So with Prestige MP I was more reacting than being a proactive player. It's great at counter punches, it's great on creating angles, it's great on creating different shapes of the ball, flat, higher, lower, but the heaviness of the ball is maybe not as good as with the other rackets in the lineup. So having said that, let's go into details which racket is better at what thing. So let's start with power. Percept 100D I think was the most powerful from the bunch, then Whiteout 18x20, going into Prestige MP, and the last one, the least powerful, was Prestige Tour. Spin, we have Prestige MP, then Whiteout 18x20, then Prestige Tour and Percept 100D. None of the racket is maybe the most spin-oriented racket out there on the market, but Prestige MP with 18-19 string pattern and overall low powered response was giving me biggest access to spin, because in order to get power I had to accelerate a bit more, and from acceleration you have better spin potential. Touch, I would start with a Prestige Tour, then Prestige MP, Whiteout 18x20 with a draw with Percept 100D. Prestige always has been the best on the market when it comes to touch. It makes sense that Prestige rackets are here the leaders. When it comes to comfort, again, Prestige MP, as it's a bigger head size, so more comfort usually from there. 18-19 string pattern, but it's spreaded quite nice. The comfort is great over there. Maybe even too muted for some players. Then we have Prestige Tour into Whiteout 18x20, having a draw with Percept 100D. When it comes to stability, I have nothing to report. Every racket was quite good. Of course, I mentioned Prestige Tour. Having issues with the forgiveness, lack of forgiveness kind of forced the racket to twist, yeah, every racket, if you frame the racket, it will twist. It's not a problem of stability, right? When it comes to forgiveness, like I said, Prestige MP as a highlight is a winner here. Then next is Percept 100D, Whiteout 18x20, and Prestige Tour, the least forgiving one. Maybe I should go back to the control and talk a bit more about this because overall all rackets are very control oriented, but the power that comes with every racket or forgiveness makes the control a bit better. So Prestige Tour, obviously with such small head size and a relatively thin beam, is the most classic offer in this lineup, which also means the smallest power potential but biggest control. Then the Prestige MP is like taking the Prestige family and make it more forgiving. It's a great step from head and a great offer to many players coming to the scene with hunger of winning. Whiteout 18x20, so despite being maybe the tightest string pattern from the lineup, the overall power potential is not that low, a bit more towards bubble out frames. The jump from the string bed is quite noticeable, but still with 18x20 string pattern, the string bed is more dense, so it takes out this power. This unique combination is creating actually quite a big gap between the lowest power potential and highest power potential, and this gap is taking a bit of my confidence, because sometimes I was shooting too short and sometimes I was shooting too long, similarly to Percept 100D. But with Percept 100D I was losing the ball much faster, so maybe the power range was the biggest from all the rackets on the lineup. On some occasion I was not sure what will be the output from my stroke, again taking away some confidence, so the control in my head goes down, right? So yeah, that was quite a review, quite a complicated one. It was very exciting to play with all of those rackets. Every racket in some different draw could go a bit higher, but it's decision time. One thing I can say is that I had a bit different thoughts while playing with the rackets and different while editing the video. Percept 100D surprised me for how easy it was to create a heavy ball with such low specs. Whiteout 18x20 surprised me with the spin potential from the 18x20 string pattern. Prestige MP and Prestige Tour maybe were the most consistent, how I remember playing with the racket. So maybe it says already something about the frames. I usually pick the rackets that are very consistent in response, even if the response is on a hotter side. I think if I had to rank the frames, I think I'm going with the Prestige MP as a winner of the Missing Puzzle group. Then I am going with the Percept 100D as a great inspiration, and it is a frame that is successful on the tour. Then I am going with the Whiteout 18x20, just a bit more forgiving than the Prestige Tour. Prestige Tour, I love the feel, I love the backhand, but it would be hard to win a tournament with Prestige Tour. But I hope head won't make the Prestige Tour bigger in head size. Maybe they should open up the string bed a bit more, make it more spin friendly, while having all this control and feel in a smaller head size. Maybe that is a direction for them. Whiteout 18x20, they would have to make it more comfortable, more spin friendly. 18-19 string pattern is a great way to go. So yeah, Prestige MP, no real weakness. It is maybe the most spin friendly while also having great control and feel. So the choice is with the Prestige MP. Oh, this review was something. Quite tough to talk about so many frames at the same time. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, please subscribe, it helps me grow, and let's see how far Prestige MP can go in the tournament of rackets. Bye.